The suitcase was already by the door when I walked in. My wife stood behind it like she was guarding a decision she had already made. For a second, I thought I had the wrong house. Then my son ran past me and hugged her leg. My chest tightened. She didn't look nervous. She didn't look guilty. She looked relieved. "I'm leaving you," she said calmly. "For our son's teacher." My heart dropped so hard it felt physical. Our son looked up at her, confused but smiling. She knelt down and brushed his hair aside. "Say goodbye to Daddy," she told him gently. "You'll have a new one soon. He's coming to pick us up." Through the window, a black Mercedes rolled up to the curb. I stared at her. "If you leave," I said quietly, "then our marriage is over." She gave a small laugh. The kind people use when they think you're naive. "Oh, honey," she said. "We were done months ago." She grabbed the suitcase. My son held her hand. Neither of them looked back when they walked out the door. That was the moment my old life ended. And the moment my real work began. There was a time when she used to look at me like I was the best thing that had ever happened to her. We met 12 years earlier at a bookstore. She was standing on a chair trying to reach the top shelf. I steadied the chair so she wouldn't fall. She laughed. That laugh turned into coffee. Coffee turned into dates. Dates turned into a small apartment filled with cheap furniture and big dreams. We built a life slowly, brick by brick. Our son was born 5 years later. For a while, everything felt right. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. Not suddenly. Quietly. Like a crack spreading through glass. It started with small things. Late nights. Phone turned face down. Smiles at texts she wouldn't show me. I noticed. Of course I noticed. But I didn't confront her. I watched. Patterns tell the truth faster than accusations. Every Wednesday, she stayed late after picking up our son from school. Every Thursday, she suddenly had errands. One night, she fell asleep on the couch. Her phone lit up beside her. A message preview appeared on the screen. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." Signed with his name. Our son's teacher. I didn't wake her. I didn't yell. I simply sat there in the dark. And understood everything. That's the thing about betrayal. Once you see it clearly, emotion becomes useless. Strategy becomes necessary. From that night forward, I stopped being her husband. I became a man preparing a case. First, the finances. Every joint account. Every credit card. I documented everything. Transfers. Spending habits. Hidden withdrawals she thought I wouldn't notice. Then the legal side. Quiet meetings with a lawyer. Custody laws. Abandonment clauses. Proof requirements. I gathered everything. Screenshots. Call logs. Messages she never realized synced to our shared tablet. The evidence piled up like bricks. And I built something with those bricks. A wall she wouldn't see coming. Meanwhile, she grew bolder. Affairs have a strange effect on people. They mistake secrecy for power. She started staying out overnight. Stopped pretending to care. Even began mentioning the teacher casually. "Daniel thinks the school might expand next year." Daniel recommended a new restaurant. She said his name like she was testing how much I knew. I never reacted. That unsettled her more than anger ever could. What she didn't realize was that every day she delayed helped me. Because in the eyes of the court, abandonment takes time to prove. And I was patient. Very patient. 3 weeks after she left, she finally called. Not to apologize. To demand things. Money. Access to the house. A civilized co-parenting arrangement. Her voice carried that same confidence she had the day she walked out. The confidence of someone who thinks they already won. So I invited her to meet. Neutral ground. A quiet office building downtown. She arrived with Daniel. He looked younger than I expected. Nervous. Trying too hard to look important. She walked in smiling like she was attending a victory party. "Let's keep this simple," she said. "We deserve to move on." I nodded slowly. Then I slid a folder across the table. Inside were copies of everything. Financial records. Affair evidence. Statements from neighbors who saw her leaving nights with Daniel. And most importantly, the legal filing. Full custody. Grounds, abandonment, and instability. Her smile vanished page by page. Daniel's confidence dissolved faster. You've been spying on me?" she whispered. "No," I said calmly. "I've been preparing." She flipped to the final document. The court order. Temporary custody granted to me. Visitation pending investigation. Her hands started shaking. You can't take my son. I leaned back in my chair. You already gave him away, I said quietly. You just didn't realize it. Daniel stood abruptly. This is crazy. Let's go. But she didn't move. For the first time since the suitcase by the door, she looked afraid. The court process didn't take long after that. Evidence rarely argues. Her instability. The affair with someone connected to our child's school. Financial irresponsibility. Every piece fit perfectly. In the end, I didn't even need revenge. Truth handled most of it for me. A few months later, I stood in the kitchen making pancakes. My son sat at the table coloring. The house felt quiet again. Peaceful. Sometimes people think revenge means destroying someone. They imagine shouting, anger, explosions. But real revenge is quieter than that. Real revenge is patience, precision, and the moment when someone finally realizes they destroyed their own life. All you did was make sure everyone saw it clearly.